So, with everything that's going on in the government, and, if you're a 17 follower and, you're keeping up on the news, you're trying to follow the 17 posts and those that know how to decode them. We were told that, the Vatican has been taken care of. More or less gold has been taken from the tunnels. It's been, from what I heard, it's been labeled and tracked, so all the gold is apparently tracked to where they know where it is. Not only the Vatican has been taken care of, but apparently Buckingham Palace, all the gold has been taken from there. And what we're seeing now apparently in the news is, the CGI of the Pope, because you've seen him in that window, you see him there, and all of a sudden when he turns, it looks like the opacity changes and then he blinks out. So it's a computer generated image. With the Queen, we were told that she was already been taken care of. Was executed and stuff like that. And I'm getting to the main point of what I'm talking about. So she's been taken care of, and what we're seeing now in the news is the fact that she's sick. And I also saw a paper this morning on Telegram, like a clipping from the Globe or whatever it was, Global Weekly or something like that Bill Clinton is dying. But, I don't know how true it is that there's a list of actors and politicians and stuff that are the deep state that have already been taken care of and executed. And a lot of what we see now is apparently computer generated. And, we see different posts in Telegram of how if somebody is tested positive for coronavirus, that means that they can fast and they're, I guess working with the government according to a certain post. And they've given up information. And so a lot of these actors and politicians have apparently been already dealt with, if it's true. And with some of them, the outcome isn't good. So maybe with Clinton and the Queen and all them, they're not going to, it's going to show that they eventually will die, but apparently they've already been dead. But it's just slowly leaking out into different things. So, I'm hoping it's true for the fact that, we need the evil to be taken care of. There should be no trafficking. There should be no, underhanded garbage that has been going on for years. But from what I heard is that the Vatican, and this is the point of my video, the Vatican had, over 700 books of the Bible to themselves, and it wasn't given to us. So what we have now is apparently in the Bible is 66 books. And, learning in the church, growing up in the church, well, I wouldn't say growing up. When I was around 20, that's when I first came to Christ. And I received the Bible, and I got used to having the books that were in the Bible. And I was told that other books were not accepted because the early church didn't accept them because they felt like they shouldn't be in there. So all this needs to really, be all of this needs to be taken into consideration again. It should never be judged based on the limited amount of books that we have in the Bible. It shouldn't be limited to the experiences that we're used to. If you're at a church that, doesn't agree with healing, then, your more or less experience of God is limited. So your belief system is going to be limited according to what you know. So I was, just thinking this morning while I was driving of how we have so many denominations, because when somebody has a new experience of God, then they need to create a denomination. But I was thinking, like, all these books that have been denied by us, all the stuff that we haven't been told, our view of God and our focus is very narrow. And so I was listening to my pastor speak one day, and he was talking about how he was reading in the book of Jasher. And, for me, I was stuck in a very narrow view. I was clinging on to just my limited knowledge. I was clinging on to what I knew or what I thought to be true. And so I heard that, about what the early church did, how they didn't accept certain books of the Bible because they felt like they weren't right. So all these books need to be reevaluated from the place of knowing who Jesus is. Getting out of that narrow view and, be willing to open your eyes to just gaining knowledge of God. And, really, if we have such a narrow view of God, these books can really help us to open our eyes. Looking in the book of Jasher, I would be riding in the morning and I would have it on audio. And not only that, but I would be reading in the book of Jasher. And there is so much information about Noah, Abraham, Nimrod that we don't know anything about. We have like one account of it in the Bible, but there is so much information there. And when I was listening to it, it felt like it was really resonating with me that this stuff was really true. And, I'm leery. I don't know about the Apocrypha. I was always told that stuff wasn't true, but I think it really depends on what God thinks. If we seek God, He can reveal to us whether something is true and whether something is not. So right now I'm listening to the book of Jubilee, and it feels like it really is true. Just like the book of Jasher. Jasher was mentioned in the Bible. So why wouldn't that be included in the Bible? And I know that the book of Enoch is true, and I want to listen to that again. I only got to a certain part in that book. But there is so much there. And without those books, we have such a limited view on God. And, I don't want, to proclaim heresy or anything like that, or, get people off the way that they should be going. But I think it really depends on what God thinks. It depends on each of us, seeking God, saying, Lord, is this good? Is this what you want me to read? We can't hold on to, a limited perspective and hold on to the things that we were told in the past about why certain books weren't allowed. We need to read it for ourselves and ask God, Lord, do you want me to read this? Lord, is this right with you? And so we need to really start seeking the Spirit of God. And so that, so much can be revealed to us. And like I said, I believe that's why we have so many denominations, is because, I think it really pertains partly to the fact of, what we have been given. I believe that the more that these books are revealed to us, the more, our experience with God can widen. And I pray that we all eventually can come together as one. All these denominations can be done away with, and there would be just one groups of people that are together worshiping the same God. Doing away with, whatever is not true, and clinging on to the real truth of God. So that's basically where I'm right now. I'm currently listening to Jubilees chapter 8, and it's hard when I'm driving to really take in some of the stuff that's being said. I think I do much better just sitting and reading it myself, but I'm getting like an overview as I'm driving. So, I encourage you yourself, check out the book of Jasher if you haven't read it. Check out the book of Enoch. And check out Jubilees. I have an app that says, that I got from Google Play, that it says KJV version with Apocrypha. So, download that app, and then, check those books out and ask God, say, Lord, is this right? Is this true? Because, if things have been denied to us, then, why not take a look at them? And like I said, I'm not promoting heresy. I'm not promoting a false view of God or anything like that. But each of us are accountable to God. So, if God doesn't want you to read a certain thing, well, he's going to let you know. So it really gets into that place of hearing God for ourselves and doing what God wants. And I've always said that in my videos. You do what God wants you to do, and you follow his instructions. So I'm going to end it here. Thanks for taking the time to watch.